Hey guys, it's that time of the year again. India's biggest sale season is live and I'm here as usual with the best deals possible. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, before starting, a couple of things. Number one, if you are new to the channel, then come on guys, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. And number two, so what I've done is I've opened a Telegram channel. The link is down in the description. And I'll be posting whenever there's a good deal or some offers available. I'll be dropping them on the Telegram channel so that you can easily access them really quickly, because making videos takes time guys. So yeah, go ahead and join that Telegram channel and stay up to date with the latest offers and deals. Alright, so without any further ado, now let's get started. So without any fuss, let's start with the cheapest gaming laptop deal currently in the sale. Just the cheapest gaming laptop deal. And that would be the Lenovo Ideapad Gaming 3 with the Core i5-11300H, 4 cores, 8 threads and the GTX 1650. It's got a 60Hz display, mind you. So, what to say about this laptop? It's basically the cheapest gaming laptop deal currently on the sale, and it's costing 46,000 rupees. What you're getting for 46,000 rupees? You're getting 4 cores and 8 threads and a dedicated GTX 1650 with 4 GB of GDDR6. So basically, this is your entry-level gaming laptop, the absolute entry-level gaming laptop. And the pricing is very good in my opinion, 46,000 rupees, and you can also apply credit card discounts on it if you have the certain credit cards. So if you're looking to purchase your first laptop and you're conflicted between buying a thin and light regular normal laptop with a CPU and no GPU, you can perhaps think of this laptop as a multi-purpose laptop which is capable of doing some more heavy lifting compared to regular laptops. So the Ideapad Gaming 3 is the cheapest gaming laptop deal and highly recommend it. Moving on. Alright, moving on, we have got two laptops and I would recommend you to just increase your budget from the Ideapad Gaming 3 and get any of these laptops, because the value is, in my opinion, a lot more. So, number one is the MSI Bravo 15. I've talked about this laptop on my channel. I'll put the links in the description to those videos if you want to refer to them. So, the MSI Bravo 15 would be the best gaming laptop deal, like the most, price to performance laptop available. That's because it has the RX 5500M and also it's got the Ryzen 5 5600H, which is significantly faster than the Core i5-11300H in the Ideapad in the previous laptop. It is significantly faster. Also, it is a lot more power efficient, and also this MSI Bravo 15 has the 144Hz display. So for 50,000 rupees, you're getting a Ryzen 5 5600H, a Radeon RX 5500M, 144Hz display. So there it is, as simple as that. It's a good gaming laptop deal for 50,000 rupees. I feel like people who have a entry-level budget should prefer this one over the Ideapad. And moving on, the next option is the HP Pavilion Gaming 15 with the GTX 1650, Ryzen 5 5600H and 144Hz display. So if you want to buy a Radeon laptop, then you can go for the MSI. That is better for gaming. I have tested the Victus with the RX 5500M, which has the same level of performance as the MSI. So if you want something more tuned for gaming, then go for the MSI. Or if you want to do some sort of productivity, like do some content creation, so the GTX 1650 is slightly better than the RX 5500M when it comes to content creation. So depending upon your choice, you can go for either of these laptops, the HP Pavilion or the MSI Bravo, depending upon your preferences. Now we have the Asus TUF A17. The reason I recommend this laptop is that it's got a 90 watt-hour battery. It's got the older Ryzen 5 4600H, which in multi-core performance is similar to that of the 5600H, maybe let's say 8 to 10% slower. And in terms of single core, it's like 12-13% slower compared to the 5600H. But the reason I recommend this one is the massive 90 watt-hour battery. So here's an example. I have the HP Pavilion Gaming 15. And if you are able to optimize Windows and sort of minimize the CPU usage during idle time or doing light usage, if you optimize the laptop, I have a video on my channel to show you how you can optimize it. So if you are able to optimize your laptop, I'm giving you an example. My HP Pavilion Gaming 15 with a 57 watt-hour battery lasts over 6 hours in my YouTube playback test. So you can imagine with a 4600H and a 90 watt-hour battery. Yes, the screen is 17 inches. But 90 watt-hour battery with a 4600H, you can imagine this is going to give you amazing battery life, tremendous battery life. So if you want, a laptop, for work, basically because of the big screen and pretty powerful hardware for the price 4600H and a GTX 1650 is still relevant in my opinion at this price tag. Remember guys, this price tag 52,000 rupees. So yeah, you can go for this if you want a laptop with a decently powerful laptop with all day battery life. So the Asus TUF Gaming A17 is highly recommended. Moving on. Alright, moving on to the HP Victus. So this is a competitor to the MSI Bravo 15. So this one is coming at 52,000 rupees with the same RX 5500M but a 60 watt-hour battery and 5600H CPU as well. But the reason to consider this would be the fact that this one has much better port selection and also it's got a much larger 70 watt-hour battery. So if you want to know the differences between the HP Victus and the MSI Bravo 15, then go ahead and take a look at my channel. I have a video on it. I'll link it down in the description as also in the cards. So there are certain differences between the Victus and the Bravo 15 which will make your decision go either ways. So I would say both are great for their price tags, but in my opinion the HP Victus feels like a more well-rounded machine. So the benefits include a larger battery and also the fact that it's got two display outputs. So you can connect the HDMI as well as USB Type-C into the Type-C port, because the Type-C port on the HP Victus supports display out as well. So you can connect two displays at the same time to the HP Victus, which you cannot do to the Bravo. And also the battery life difference is quite big. So yeah, both are highly recommended, but you have to choose based on your preferences. Next we have an interesting laptop which is the Acer Aspire with the Core i5 12th generation, so 1240p I guess. So it's got total 12 cores if you combine the P cores and the E cores, and the specialty of this CPU is that it is actually similar to a Ryzen 5 5600H but at 28 watts. So it's a newer generation architecture from Intel, Lakh architecture, and this particular P series part is similar to the Ryzen 5 5600H but at much lower TDP. So you can so that's the reason this laptop is a little bit it's a thinner and slimmer laptop. Also it's got the RTX 2050, a 35 watt RTX 2050, which is nothing like really super high end for gaming, but it's got DLSS, so you can get some pretty good gaming performance out of it. And this thing will be much better than the typical Ryzen plus GTX 1650 laptops if you want to do content creation. So if you are into a laptop, thin and light laptop, don't have much budget and you want to do some content creation, then this thing will be highly recommended. The RTX 2050 is basically an RTX 3050 with a reduced memory bus width, and this thing is very tailor-made for content creation because the double the CUDA cores in the RTX 2050 versus the GTX 1650. Also it's got the tensor cores, the RT cores, and you can use things like optics for Blender and all. So if you are a beginner, a guy looking for a laptop for productivity and content creation, this thing is recommended guys. 55,000 rupees is the cost, and I think it's a very sweet package for the features that it brings in. It also has Thunderbolt 4, which means you can perhaps in the future use this laptop with an external GPU connected to it and then get like great performance out of the external GPU, because the Core i5 1240p is still pretty good enough to handle external GPU, and the Thunderbolt 4 port has enough bandwidth to support your external graphics cards. And overall for 55,000 rupees it's looking like a great deal in my opinion. Alright, so moving on, we have the Ideapad Gaming 3 again, but this time with the RTX 3050 GPU. So again it's got the 11300H, I think it's got the 11320H, again it's just a small upgrade over the 11300H. So it's again got 4 cores and 8 threads, but it's got a fully powered RTX 3050 and also 45 watt-hour battery. It's a decent laptop, but at 60,000 rupees I kind of don't recommend it because it's got a 4 core 8 threaded CPU, and at 60,000 rupees it kind of hurts to buy a laptop with such an outdated CPU. Also the reason is the next laptop that I'm going to tell you will blow your mind and you will forget about this laptop. Alright, moving on to it. Alright, so this has to be one of the best deals in the Flipkart and Amazon sales. Like this is one of the hottest deals I would say. So now we have the Ideapad Gaming 3, a new version which is having the Ryzen 7 5800H 8 core 16 threads Zen 3, and it also comes with 4GB RTX 3050, the fastest variant, 95 watts. And overall it costs just 65,000 rupees guys. This is an amazing deal, I gotta say. The only drawback of this laptop is Ideapad, so it's got the smallest 45 watt-hour battery. So if you don't care about battery life guys, this is going to be an amazing gaming laptop deal for 65,000 rupees. The Ryzen 7 5800H is still a beast in 2022. It's got 8 Zen 3 cores, 16 threads, and it easily beats the Core i7-11800H at almost all the TDP levels up until, let's say, 70 watts. That 70 watts is stupid, guys, on a laptop. Only in the very extreme high power levels does the 11800H beat the 5800H. So a 5800H laptop in this price range, 65,000 rupees, and also having an RTX 3050 a full wattage version is an amazing deal for 65,000 rupees. It also has a 120Hz display, so it's a full package for 65,000 rupees. It's highly recommended. Only drawback, as I say, is the small battery, 45 watt hour battery. So if you are able to sort of optimize the 5800H and reduce the TDP and maintain a TDP of like 15, 20, 25 watts using Ryzen's controller, you can get some amazing battery life with 45 watt hour battery as well, but you have to optimize. But other than that, other than battery life, this thing is a killer deal. Highly recommended. Okay, next up we have got the Asus TUF A17 again, but this time with the Ryzen 7 4800H and a 90 watt hour battery and an RTX 3050. So the difference between the Ideapad and this one is that this one has a much bigger 17-inch display. It's got a double the size 90 watt hour battery. It's got the older Zen 2 4800H, which is actually about 15% slower in terms of single core performance, and about, again, a similar 12-13% slower in multi-core performance. So you are losing some performance, but you're getting a whole lot of battery life. So you have to choose between the two. It's got a massive 90 watt hour battery, which you cannot overlook, and the 4800H is still, even though it is slower than the 5800H, it is still quite capable, guys, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, it is actually quite capable. The single core boost clock is up to 4.2 GHz, so that's nothing to scoff at. So the Asus TUF A17, looking pretty good, I would say, because of the 90 watt hour battery. That's a big factor. If you want a gaming laptop with all-day battery life, this thing can provide you. If you optimize Windows 11, because these days every laptop comes with Windows 11 and there is a lot of idle power draw, so you have to optimize Windows. Otherwise, you would think it's the laptop's fault, but it's not. It's actually Windows' fault. So you have to optimize Windows regardless of any Windows gaming laptop. So the Asus TUF A17 is highly recommended. Again, given your priorities, you can purchase this or the Ideapad. And again, guys, I want to reiterate, all of these laptops also have got card discounts on top of it. If you can get certain cards like Axis Bank cards, ICICI card, SBI cards, you can get additional discount on top of these reduced prices. So keep that in mind. Next, we have the RTX 3050 HP Victus. Now, we have talked about it many times in the past, nothing special about it. It's a very well-rounded laptop, but the price is a little bit high in my opinion, 69,000 rupees at the moment. You can apply card discounts and all that, but I feel the price should have dropped to 65,000 rupees. So yeah, compared to the Ideapad, the main advantage of the Victus is, again, it's got two display outputs and a much larger 70 watt hour battery. But otherwise, I am preferring the Ideapad at the moment because the performance difference is a little bit bigger. 8 cores, 16 threads with RTX 3050 full wattage at with 120Hz display at only 65,000 rupees, whereas 69,000 rupees is getting you 6 core, 12 threads with the Victus and just a 60Hz display. So yeah, I would say the Victus is looking a little less of a deal at the moment. But again, it's not a bad laptop, it's a good laptop if you prefer HP, if you want a larger battery, longer battery life, if you want dual display outs, then the Victus can be considered. Alright, moving on, we have a special laptop. It's a special laptop because it's aimed for creators, and in my opinion, the price point is very sweet. At 78,000 rupees is the Asus Vivobook 14 Pro. So this thing has a OLED display, 600 nits brightness, and 2.8K at 90 Hz. It also has a Ryzen 7 5800H and an RTX 3050, which goes up to 50 watts. I know, so the wattage is kind of low, but you have to remember this is a very thin and light laptop at just 1.45 kg. This laptop is basically kind of a Windows replacement to the M1 and M2 MacBook Pros. So great display, very powerful specifications, a good GPU for video editing. Also gaming, guys, the 50-watt RTX 3050 can still handle quite a lot of games, and also it's got 16 GB of RAM. Now keep in mind, this RAM is soldered to the board. Obviously it's a very thin and small laptop, 14 inches, and the RAM is soldered to the board. So if you're into content creation and you want a Windows laptop for many reasons, the benefits of Windows, guys, I'm not gonna lie, no matter how much we hate Windows, there are benefits to using Windows and staying in this Windows ecosystem. So the Asus Vivobook Pro OLED is highly recommended. The price is really good in my opinion, especially when compared to the M1 and M2 MacBook Pros. So yeah, Ryzen 7 5800H, 16GB of RAM, 4GB RTX 3050, OLED display, 14 inches, 1.45 kgs. What else do you want? So at 78,000 rupees, again, card discounts apply over here. Definitely recommended for content creators. Alright, next we got the Asus Zephyrus G14. This one is the Ryzen 7 5800HS with the RTX 3050 at 90,000 rupees with a Quad HD 120Hz display. So this one again is a specialty laptop. You cannot compare this with other laptops, in the same price category, because this one is a 14-inch powerhouse. Very slim chassis, very small chassis, great display, RTX 3050 and a 5800HS, 16GB of RAM, and a weight of just 1.6 kilos. So the Zephyrus G14, everybody knows it, guys. It's a specialty laptop. You cannot compare it with the others, and at 90,000 rupees, it's looking like a pretty good deal in my opinion. Again, aimed at content creators and also light gamers, obviously. And it's got good battery life, good port selection and all that. So Zephyrus G14 is a classic at 90,000 rupees. It's a premium laptop, obviously, but based on the capabilities, it can appeal to a lot of people, gamers and content creators alike. So Zephyrus G14 is again highly recommended. Okay, so moving on, we have the Asus TUF A17 with the RTX 3060. It's got the Ryzen 7 5800H and 16GB of RAM, 90Wh battery. Now this is a great deal at 90,000 rupees because last year we used to get the Core i5 11400H, which is 6-core 12-thread processor, and this one is the full-fat Ryzen Zen 3 8-core 16 threads, which is significantly faster than the Core i5 11400H from last year. So this is again a great deal, I would say. 90,000 rupees for a pretty powerful specification. And the main con of this laptop is the screen. It is a basic display, 144Hz, 65% sRGB type of display, nothing special, 250 nits. So with the Asus TUF A15, again, if you want a gaming laptop, that's all you want, the best bang for the buck gaming laptop currently available, then this is it. 90Wh battery, 95W 3060, 5800H, 16GB of RAM. It's purpose built for gaming. So yep, moving on. Okay, moving on to the last couple of laptops in our list. Number one is the Ideapad Gaming 3 with the Ryzen 7 5800H and a 95W RTX 3060. Also a 165Hz 100% sRGB 300 nits display, 16GB of RAM, 512 SSD, all at the price of 90,000 rupees. Now if you compare this with the Asus TUF, the only difference is that the Asus TUF has a much larger 90Wh battery. This one has a 45Wh battery. The Asus TUF has a very basic 250 nits display, 65% sRGB, whereas this one has a really good 165Hz 100% sRGB 300 nits display. So you basically have two choices. One is good display and the other is great battery life. Either of the two. Both come at the same price of 90,000 rupees, so you have to choose which one you want. Personally, I would go with the TUF because I feel I have a great external monitor. So when doing serious productivity work, I just connect it with my external monitor, which is having much better color accuracy. So basically, between the two, it depends upon you which one you want to choose. I would go with the bigger battery life because battery life is, in my opinion, more useful than having a color accurate display. But anyways, the choice is up to you. The Ideapad Gaming 3 is also a really good deal in my opinion. 90,000 rupees for a full package of great display and good hardware. So yeah, depending upon your needs, choose between the two. And lastly, we got the Acer Victus with the Ryzen 7 5800H, a 95W RTX 3060, 16GB of RAM, and really good display and a really good battery life of 70Wh. So if you want everything, then you have to spend 1 lakh rupees at the moment to get everything that you want. And yeah, the Acer Victus is a premium laptop. It's got all the bells and whistles you want. 70Wh battery, 5800H RTX 3060, good display, good battery life and all that. So if you have the budget, then go for it. Now above 1 lakh rupees, I am not comfortable recommending any of the laptops at the moment because Ryzen 7000 is just around the corner. It will be available in 1 year, guys. 1 year is nothing. you can get a really high-end laptop next year. So above 1 lakh I'm not going to recommend, because I feel I want to promote the best of best in my channel, and in my opinion for you guys the best would be to just hold on and purchase a Ryzen 7000 laptop next year rather than spending over 1 lakh on a laptop at the moment. So that's it for this video, guys. All the laptop links are down in the description. Also down in the description is my Telegram channel, so join the channel, and whenever I find a good deal or a good offer, you will find that link in the Telegram channel and you can easily click on it and, you know, follow and stay up with the updates, because it is quite difficult to make quick videos. Currently the power is also not there, so it's difficult for me at the moment. So that's it for this video, guys. I will be coming on a live stream tomorrow. That's when the offers are available for everybody, and I'll be doing live stream tomorrow. So these were the preliminary deals, and if I see more deals again, as I said, they will be available in the Telegram channel. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, share and subscribe. Comment down below any queries and I'll help you. And take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy shopping. Peace.